Hey guys, it's Siobhan with Kitty and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a Q&A and this is part 2. So round 2, let's go. Let's just jump right into it. So Sarah Shea asks, what are your best tips on releasing what no longer serves you? And how do we best let go? Yeah, so this is kind of a hard one. I mean, it's not hard to give the information to you, but it's hard to put it into practice. I can say it's, just let it go. Just find forgiveness. Just, remain objective, step back from it and, just move forward. But it's harder to actually do that. So what have I found that's worked for me when I'm being asked to release something? It is to consult my higher self. It's to allow my higher self to step into my body more. Because, the higher self is always there, but it's to what degree is your higher self conscious? And are you sort of working with or from that higher self energy? So, like most of the time as we go about our day, we are not channeling the higher self. We're just, like we're more in the personality or the ego or on autopilot or whatever. We're in the thinking mind. We're not in the feeling and the intuitive self. So when I'm being asked to let go of things, especially if it's difficult for me at a conscious level, at the mental level, if I'm experiencing ego resistance, because that can happen. A lot of the time, spirit will ask you to let go of things that you worked really hard for, or that make you comfortable, or that you like doing, or what have you. And if it's not serving you, you kind of know you need to let it go. But there's that aspect of you that's like, no, I'm not ready. I don't want to. That's uncomfortable. That's scary. That kind of thing. So it really boils down to fear. It boils down to, why do you fear to let go of these things? Why are you still holding on to them? What does it bring you? What are you confirming to yourself by continuing to hold on or create this attachment to whatever it is that you're not able to let go of? Because attachment is an ego mind function. Attachment doesn't exist at soul level. I mean, it does, but more so like at higher self level. At the higher self level, there's no attachment because we know that everything is connected. So there's no need to attach because everything's already connected. But it's only from the perception of separation that we get really attached to attachment, right? So it's about stepping back. It's about pushing, not pushing, it's about pulling your literal conscious thinking mind back a little bit, stepping into this sort of higher perspective so you can look down and go, okay, yes, this is my life, and yes, this is something that I'm attached to and I'm having difficulty letting go of, but try to see it from the perspective of you in the future, being grateful for having let go of that. And your higher self is essentially you in the future. It's you in the far, far, far distant future, but because there's no time in the spiritual realms, in the higher realms, it's you now. And that's why you can tune into that higher self. So consult your higher self, consult your future self to give you the context and the perspective that you need to be able to consciously release, let go, because fear holds on, faith releases. I'm going to leave it at that. So Eternal Flame Unity asks, remote viewing and negative intentions, how do we block them? Right, so Eternal Flame, so he was asking, or she was asking about having negative intentions sent their way and how to block that and stuff like that. Okay, so first and foremost, if you are experiencing any kind of a negative intention in your life, this can happen, and they can be sent from people unconsciously or consciously. A lot of the times we do this not realizing we're doing it. So say, for example, you're really jealous of somebody for something and you constantly think about that, you're sending jealousy at them. If you're really angry with somebody and you focus a lot of time and energy and mental, circling around in that anger, that's projecting outwards as well. Like our thoughts, if we could see them, they're like a cloud around our head and we direct them in all these different areas. So if they're called anger spears. And so this is something to be aware of, that to make sure first and foremost that you're not doing this, because again, we can stop this at the conscious level through awareness of it. And second of all, the only way that an anger, spear, or a negative intention can affect you is if you already believe in whatever it is that was being sent your way. So let's say, for example, you feel incompetent at work for some reason. Like you're not, but for some reason there's this self-doubt within you. Okay, you're performing up to snuff and it's fine. But say, for example, there's a coworker and they're a little bit pissed at you for one thing that you might have did wrong, or you're not quite doing it the way they like it, and they project the thought of inadequacy at you because it already exists within your vibration. Again, this is resonation. This is what we say, if something resonates with you, it's a vibration that you're holding within. Like a harp. If you hit a G chord, if you have a harp in the same room, the G chord's going to vibrate because it has a G chord. So the only way for the intention to not affect you is if you don't have that G chord, right? Which is the fear, the self-doubt, the inadequacy, the beliefs that you're not enough, right? So nobody's negative intention can do anything to you unless you believe it, unless you already have that within you, unless you already vibrate at that frequency. Right? So if there's somebody in your environment who you perceive to be mentally, psychically attacking you, sending negative intentions your way, again, this is a symptom. This is something to be aware of that's coming from within. Everything in your reality, every single person, every single situation, everything you see and everything you interact with is a mirror of what's going on within you. You're the creator. So if there's something inside you, your reality is going to reflect that. You're creating that. So this person, whoever they are that's sending negative intentions at you, it's not them, it's you. You have to take empowerment back. You have to take the responsibility back. You might not want to hear this. You might want to stay in your victim mentality. You might want to just have like a shield that you can put up, but that's the easy way out. That's like treating the symptom but not the cause. That's like taking an Advil for cancer. It doesn't work that way. Like, okay, it really doesn't work that way. It's you can relieve the pain, but if you're still going to have the same disease, right? Then it's worth getting to the root cause, and the root cause is always internal. It's always something inside. So you need to ask yourself what that is. You need to sit down with yourself and really contemplate what that is, where that came from, why you believe that, where did you learn that, how did that come to be? Maybe it was from your childhood, maybe it was from a past life. That's why doing tarot readings and Reiki have so helped me to expand on my spiritual journey. I woke up like 2 years ago, guys, 3 years ago. Okay, and look where I am now. So it was like this huge advancement because I took responsibility and I started asking questions and I got answers. If you seek, you will find. So when it comes to negativity, it's got to be dealt with at the source, which is within you. So again, if you heal that within you and somebody tries to send negativity your way, you're not even going to know. Because guess what? It just doesn't resonate. It just bounces right off. It just goes back to them. Like it wouldn't even cross your mind. It wouldn't even become an issue in your life. You wouldn't even be aware that it was happening because it's not something that you resonate with. It's not something that you vibrate at. If something triggers you, you're resonating with it. If it makes you feel really good, like spiritually, that's a higher vibrational resonation. But they're the same thing. It's just two different polarities, two different spectrums of the polarity. Okay. Let's move forward. So VS asks how to deal with feeling emotions connected to the twin flame or the collective and how to not let them throw you off balance. Okay, this is a really good question. Because yeah, as an empath, as a spiritually open individual, we do tend to take on a lot more energetically and emotionally from our environment and from people that we're connected to, whether that be a twin flame, a soulmate, a karmic partner. it really doesn't matter. I don't like the differentiations between all of these different things. I think the twin flame movement, it has really gotten out of hand, but I don't want to go off on a twin flame tangent right now. So let's just stick to the main question, Siobhan. Okay, like don't let your ADHD get out of hand here. Um, Feeling emotions connected to external things, right? Okay, so how do we deal with this? First and foremost, if it's throwing you off balance, then this is something within you already that's off balance. Okay, it's the same thing as the negativity, but it can be just in all other areas of feeling and emotions. It doesn't have to be something negative directed towards you. You can just be picking up on things that make you a little bit uncomfortable or sad or whatever it is from the collective during like full moons and stuff like that. And I do that, and I consciously connect to the full moon energy. So like I stand in my sovereignty as an empowered spiritual being, as a creator God, living this human experience. And so I allow myself to tap into certain energies to do the work that I do for you guys, doing the energy updates. But that being said, if this isn't what you do for a living, and or you don't, like you're picking up on stuff that's not helping your life, then this is something to look at within. Again, everything starts within. Everything comes from our beliefs, and that in turn dictates kind of what our energy looks like and how we vibrate. So if there's something that you are picking up on that is making you feel off balance, then there's something inside you that is off balance that needs to be addressed. Everything in your life is a symptom. Everything is a symptom of what's going on inside. Everything is a mirror of what's going on in your energy and in your beliefs and your mind. It's all connected. So how to not be affected by it is to look within, to heal yourself. It's to go deeper. It's to ask the right questions. It's to let go of the need to feel connection to everything, because you're already connected to everything. You don't necessarily need to feel connected to your twin flame or to your environment. And you might think that you're not doing this consciously, but subconsciously you are, which is technically still consciously, right? It's just the sub level of it. So like you're creating this overwhelm based on having your feelers out too far. Oops, I hit my little lamp there. Having your feelers out really far, feeling like you need to either protect yourself for survival or because you're wanting more information, which will help you, but it's not really helping you because it's throwing you off. It's throwing you out of your alignment. So first and foremost, get back into alignment. And then second of all, consciously set the intention not to absorb this stuff, because everything is down to your intention. Whatever you say goes, and you have to mean it. But if it's your free will, then nothing can break through that, because this is your reality. You're the creator being. This is your life. So whatever you say goes, and sometimes we create unconsciously. So dive a little deeper into why you feel like you need to be picking up on this stuff. Find your deep core motivations. And that can be difficult, and it can take time, patience, perseverance, and sometimes outside help. That's why the readings are great and the Reiki healing sessions are fantastic, because it allows you to get information that you may have been blocking on your own, but having some objective individual or energy channel that to you, it helps to look at it, to stop shoving it away, right? It's like it's there, look at it, you have to see it. Okay, now you can do something about it. So bringing it to your awareness, that's how you can deal with this kind of energy overwhelming you and bring yourself back into alignment. Okay, so next we have Rebecca Allen. She asks soul families and how to find them. Right, okay. So soul families, what are they? How do we find them? This is a lot simpler than I think a lot of people think it is. You don't have to go out there and like actively seek people who you resonate with. If they're your soul family, they're probably already in your life. Soul mates can be partners, they can be family members, they can be friends. So these are part of our soul family. So take a look around you. chances are good that's your soul family. Because your soul family are souls that incarnate to play different roles in your life. I think what you're actually asking is soul family in the sense of like people that you resonate with. But what soul family actually are these souls that you incarnate with repeatedly because you're helping each other to learn lessons, to deal with karma. And sometimes these people can be difficult to deal with because they've chosen to play a role for you that is difficult, but it's helping you all the same. So like your really shitty boss, or like your judgmental parent or uncle or whatever, like these are soul family and they've come in to play a certain role. Yeah, they're playing sort of like the villain, but they're still behind the character. They're still your soul family. So just a little shift in perspective there for you. But on the context of what I think you're actually asking, which is, finding your soul tribe, like the people that you really resonate with, all you have to do is be in alignment with who you are. Be your authentic self. They will come and find you, or you will just synchronistically, see them, find them, meet them. So when you are your authentic self, when you stand in your power, when you express yourself in a very soul-based way, that is when you will have these people gravitate towards you, and you don't have to go out looking for them. They'll just kind of appear. It's magic like that, right? So you'll just bump into them and strike up a conversation and realize that you have so much in common, or whatever it is. Or you connect with them online, and you never actually meet them in real life, but they're there, and they're there, and you can communicate. So again, like this is the kind of thing that soul families can be, but it really just comes down to you. It comes down to your vibration. If you're vibrating really low, then you're going to attract like low vibrational soul family. If you vibrate really high, you're going to attract high vibrational soul family. It all comes down to dealing with our own inner blockages, our core beliefs, core wounds, and where we're putting our intention, our focus, and our action. That's the biggest one, because people often overlook action. They're like, if I sit here and I wish for it, it's going to happen. Law of attraction, I can make it happen right here, right now. That's not necessarily the case. That's part of it. Yeah, totally. Intention at the fifth dimensional level works instantaneously. But at the third dimensional level, which is what we're existing in, third and fourth, we have to take physical action. To get the energy moving, we have to push it. We have to do it. So, take action to correct any habits in your life that are keeping you down, keeping you limited, or isolating you. Really get expansive, really allow yourself to be happy and to feel joy and to express yourself authentically, emotionally, creatively, spiritually, all of these things, because you'll just watch like magic. People will pop up in your life and you'll be like, okay, there they are, that soul family. And you'll know because you resonate with them. You'll know because you're like, I feel like we've known each other before, or we're just so on the same page, or I really like your energy. You have this vibration about you, whatever it is, right? So you trust them. You feel comfortable with them. They reflect back to you who you are. So this is, again, it's just how reality works. Okay, so Gabby asks advice on how to ride out or balance the self during spiritual depression. So she's having difficulty motivating herself to meditate, and a lack of communication with her higher self or guides. Yeah, that can happen. So Gabby, I can totally relate to this. I have been there. And I think you even said in the post, I paraphrased it here for my question, for my notes that I took from it, but I think in the original post you said something about 2017, like 2 years ago, I think you said. Now this is interesting because this is actually when my Great Awakening took place as well, and when I felt what you would describe as that like really overwhelming bliss and like this motivation to meditate, and like everything was just really easy and happy, and there was all this expansion. And then now, like 2 years later, it's kind of like we're going through this period of it's almost like this second dark night of the soul, right? So the dark night of the soul initially propelled us into that awakening, and now we're kind of back again at that dark night of the soul phase that's eventually going to push us into another great awakening, which is what I've experienced. So I'm coming out of it now, and coming into this second level of my expansion, like consciousness expansion. So just know that, like you said, this is just a phase. This is not going to last forever. And so it's really just about that perspective that'll allow you to just get through it and do what you need to do to get through it. So first and foremost, always self-care. If you don't feel called to meditate, then you can do it in other ways, right? You can read, you can walk, you can take a bath, you can draw. Drawing is like the second best thing to meditation in my mind, and you don't have to draw anything good. You can literally just go get a coloring book and some markers and just sit there and draw, because not only does it connect you with your child, your inner child, but it also it puts your mind into this sort of like autopilot where you're very concentrated on this one thing, and so your mind can start to problem solve and to heal, and it goes into this type of meditative state. So there's so many different ways of meditating as well. Like you don't have to just sit there and go, oh, like going for a run can be a meditation, going to the gym, talking to a friend can help you to channel information. Giving advice can help you a lot of the time to channel information for yourself that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So there's so many different ways, and most of all, most important is really just to allow this to happen naturally, right? So we don't want to force it, because when we force it, then it can show that basically, okay, if you're in resistance or if you're forcing something, if you're trying to make it happen, this is out of attachment to a result. So your higher self, it's not in alignment with who you really are. It's from the ego. And so we get those results back, which is not what we want, because we're striving for something out of lack. We're going to get more lack right back. We're going to get more lack right back. Okay. So when you are experiencing, I'm silly sometimes, it's okay. So when you're experiencing this kind of a lull and a spiritual depression, feeling low vibrational, experiencing all of these difficult emotions and things like that, just allow this process to take place. Just give yourself what you need. If you need to sleep, just go to sleep. If you need to eat something comforting to you, then do that. Don't feel guilty about it. Just eat your comfort food. It's okay right now. It's not going to be a long-term habit, so just allow what you need right now and then move forward. And eventually, you'll come out of it. You will. Everything has its phase. Everything has its purpose, and it's all in divine timing and divine alignment. So if you're feeling like this right now, I can feel for you, because I know what that feels like, and it's not pleasant, but it's not permanent. It's only temporary. And when you come out of it, it's going to be a whole brand new you, and you will come out of it. It's just a matter of time. So don't get too attached to when that will happen. Just let it happen naturally, and it will. And if you feel like you need some additional support, please reach out to me. I would love to give you some Reiki. That can always help too. Let me tell you, Reiki is a miracle worker, because that's actually what worked for me. I did Reiki on myself, and it shifted things, and now I'm making that a daily habit again, because I was feeling out of alignment and I couldn't meditate, and I was, not feeling called to make videos and things like that. I didn't even want to go outside. So it was the meditation was secondary to the Reiki. The Reiki is my form of meditation anyway, but it was healing because my heart chakra had closed due to stress. So this happens, right? Like our heart chakras open and close and open and close and open and close, depending on what we're going through, what we're thinking, what we're interacting with. There's so many different factors, right? So when you're experiencing something like this, it's probably a good indication. It's a symptom, really, of something going on in your energy body. So please reach out for Reiki if this resonates with you. I'd love to assist you in any way that I can through this, because I know how it feels and it sucks. And Reiki, I can't overstate it. Like, it really helped me so much. So if I can help you, please let me. Readings are great too, because then it gives you the context of like what you're going through, what you're working with, and how to kind of get out of that, right? So go where you feel called, but just allow this to unfold naturally. Okay, Gabby, I love you. All right. So next up, Kate H is asking how to integrate the polarities or the dual aspects of ourselves and situations that we find ourselves in. So yeah, this is a really good question, Kate. Yeah, we have so many different polarities. I mean, there's two, right? Negative, positive, but there's so many different ways that we can fall on that spectrum, and we are essentially all of those things. We are both negative and positive. We are both light and dark. So it's really just about integrating those aspects of yourself. And I find that the easiest way to do this is to take a higher perspective. And I know I say that a lot. You're probably sick of hearing me say that. Just go higher. It's fine. Just go higher. But how? Right? It's like, okay, just take a step back. Try to detach from the human mind, from Kate, right? Step back from being Kate for a second and just be there, observing, watching. Now, it doesn't matter what thoughts go through or what experiences or what situations you're in or what you're experiencing of yourself, both negative and positive. When you're just watching it, it's not attached to you, so you don't really feel any type of way about it. You're just kind of neutral. You're like, okay, yeah, that is what it is. That's just part of what is. And what is all things, which is the both sides of the polarity. So when it comes to integrating these polarities, it's acceptance. It really boils down to just objective observation and acceptance of what is. And for me, that higher perspective comes from my higher self, from my source consciousness, which is all things. And if source and the creator has chosen to express itself in a negative way, then that's just a choice that some aspect of myself has made, and that's fine. And so it's that higher perspective that can allow you to sort of detach from the physical experience of it, as well as like the judgment of it, right? So if you're judging something, you're attaching a belief to it. You are not accepting it. If there's judgment, then you're not accepting it. And the human mind does this automatically. It just judges things like that because it has to. It's like a survival mechanism. It's part of how we function in the third, fourth dimensional reality. So it really is just stepping back out of that, being consciously aware that you're doing it, and then stopping yourself. So label it. When you're judging something as negative, label it. That's judging. Ah, okay, I'm judging it. Ooh, that's not integration. That's not acceptance. That's pushing it away. That's not loving it, right? So be discerning, not judgment, not judging. And I actually made a whole video on this. If you go back through my video feed, it's called Judgment versus Discernment or something like that. So, and I talk all about that. So it's really just stepping back. Okay, I hope this helped. So Cherry Vixen asks, what's the best way to protect against psychic attack? So I went into this a little bit with one of the previous questions that we had in this video, but it really boils down to what's going on inside you. If you're feeling attacked, then you've got a victim mentality, and that's attracting the attack, right? So anything that is coming towards you is something that you're attracting. It's something that you're creating. So you need to look at why that is. Why do you feel like a victim in your life? Yeah, maybe you've been through some difficult situations, but everybody else has too. We've all chosen these things actively as souls, as well as in the physical experience, and created more karma experiences for learning. So this is part of what you've come here to learn. If this is something that you're experiencing, then this is something that you've come to interact with, to understand, to learn what it is to handle it at the third dimensional level. Because at the fifth dimensional level, you already know that any psychic attack that comes towards you, it can't touch you if you don't already vibrate with that. But at the third dimensional level, because we're on the other side of the veil, we don't have this kind of information, generally speaking, like we're not born with it, or rather we are, but we're deprogrammed immediately and programmed with all these other negative beliefs of victim mentality. It's why we live in the society the way it is. It's bred towards creating victims, right? So because that keeps you in that lower vibrational thought and energy pattern, and because it keeps you in that negative karmic loop of victimization, and then creating that, like the attacks on you, like you're creating that. That's not something that's outside of you. That's something from within you. And yes, it's coming to you in a way that looks like it's outside of you. It's somebody else doing it to you. How is that my fault? But it's the victim mentality that's creating it in the first place. So we really need to step away, all of us, really need to step away from this victim mentality around like psychic attacks and energy vampires and things like that. Because yeah, they do happen, but they cannot affect you if you are not vibrating at that frequency. Okay, so I used to buy into it too. I totally did. It's just a path. It's part of the phase of going through the awakening process. We all go through it. We all get to that point where we realize that we're being a victim, and that no, my empowered self is not a victim. My sovereign God self is not a victim to anyone or anything. I am in control. So why would I allow this to continue? Let's just nip it in the bud now, get to the root cause of it. I'm no longer a victim. I'm empowered. Therefore, these things cannot affect me. So it really just, yeah, I think I've covered everything there. But it is something that is peddled in the media and in the spiritual communities because, again, when somebody is a victim, then, oh, you can go help them. So you have to be careful with practitioners who do this. If there are practitioners out there who are peddling this victim mentality to you, like you're being attacked, you need to protect yourself, let me sell you a spell to do that, or let me give you energy healing so that I'll put up a shield and heal you. It doesn't work like that, okay? Nobody outside of you can save you, and nobody outside of you can hurt you either. It all comes from within. You have to save yourself. You have to, and you're the one hurting yourself. So it's about taking your responsibility back, right? Because responsibility is power, and with great power comes great responsibility. It's a two-way street, okay? So I'm sorry if this triggered you and you didn't like this, but this is what I got to say about it, and this is what's worked for me. So just as you know, from my own experience and working with clients on a day-to-day basis, like this is a huge transformational thing, and it can change your life and the way that you interact with other people, because when you step out of victim mentality, you are empowered. That's just how it works. Okay, let's move down the list. Beta says, hi, how do you see the stars in the sky? Like before in my youth, I saw them as individual luminous points, but 2 years ago, I started seeing each star as a 3-pointed shamrock, and each star looks like a 5 luminous point. Some stars twinkle red and green, some white and purple. Eyes have been checked, nothing wrong. Okay. So Beta, it sounds like you're seeing multidimensionally, which is really good. So this is a third eye awakening. You will start to see light differently. You perceive light differently, especially stars, because stars are consciousness. They are energy. They are beings. So the light that they emit will hold certain frequencies. Purple being, you know, very enlightened and expanded. White being like that pure source energy. Red being like that root chakra energy, so very sort of like grounded. Green is like that heart chakra. These are just like sort of ideas. It doesn't have to be that because it's very subjective. What this means for you is going to be very individual, right? Like nobody else is experiencing this. You're experiencing this. And I'm sure there are other people out there who are experiencing it. But again, this is like a subjective thing for you as a creator being. Why are you interacting with the stars that way? So it's beautiful, really. So what that can mean to you is the 3-pointed star, or the 3-pointed shamrocks. That's 3 and then 5, right? So you've created more connections. So you've gone from seeing them as individual points to seeing them in a trifecta to seeing them in their multidimensionality. Right? So this is beautiful expansion. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your eyes. This is your third eye activation. So congratulations, Beta. That's fantastic. Okay, and last but not least, Aika Papa asks, what does the name of your channel mean or symbolize? Yay, finally I got this question. So my channel name, To Kitty and Beyond, I started out on Instagram like couple years ago, and I wanted to make a cat account for my cat Kitty. Her name is Kitty. I adopted her in like years and years and years ago. I've had her for like 9 years now. And when I saw her for the first time, I just went, Kitty! And she ran to me, and I knew that I had to have her. Like we were meant to be together. Not that I had to have her. Like I don't own her. She's not my property like she is. But anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent again. So I started this account for my cat and was just posting pictures of my cat, and I called it To Kitty and Beyond because, first of all, I'm a big Disney Pixar fan, and I love Toy Story, among all of the other Disney movies and all of the awesome Disney content. But, you know, Buzz Lightyear, to infinity and beyond. And infinity was a big thing for me because it really was the beginning of my spiritual awakening when I made this account for my cat. I was really starting to contemplate what infinity really meant, and how the universe is infinite, that we're infinite, consciousness is infinite, energy is infinite, this kind of thing. So to infinity and beyond, it doesn't really make sense as a statement when Buzz Lightyear says it, because there is no beyond infinity. Infinity is infinity. But I just found it funny, so I switched it to kitty and beyond. And I always see it as like a cat in space. So that was what I made my logo, and then it became this whole big thing. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. It's for my cat Kitty, and infinity and beyond. That's what it is. As a galactic, you know, my cat is from space. I'm from space. We're all from space. So yeah, thanks for being here at 2 Kitty and Beyond, guys. All right, so that's it for today. This one was a little bit longer than the first one, but I got to all the questions, and I'm really happy about that. So thank you guys for contributing your questions and for being patient and receiving the answers, although I did it pretty quick this time, so yay. If you guys would like a reading with me or a Reiki session, please reach out. The information will be in the description box below. Just hit the show more button below this video, and you will get a drop-down list of all of my services and offerings, how to contact me, how to provide payment, my availability, all that good stuff. Also, I'm doing a Reiki special right now until the end of December. So if you'd like to book a Reiki session, now's the time to do it. It's 40% off. So instead of $144 Canadian, it's now $88 Canadian, which is much better for you over the Christmas holidays, because I know we're all a little strapped for cash. But, you know, Reiki, like I said, it cannot be understated. I absolutely have created the life of my dreams around Reiki and through Reiki. And Reiki has helped me to shift out of my dark night of the soul. Reiki has helped me heal myself through some pretty major trauma and shadow self stuff. So Reiki is indispensable and priceless in my beliefs. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, for being here. If you resonated with this stuff and you want to see more content like this, please subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you're updated every time that I put out a new video. I've got the monthly horoscope readings via tarot and oracle. I've got the energy updates whenever there's something big going on and I want to tell you guys about it, as well as like general spiritual chit chats and Q&As like this. So if you guys want to see more Q&As, leave some more questions in the comments below, and as soon as I have enough, I'll make more. I love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.